Yes, we are.
And hopefully, in about 10 seconds, we'll actually be live on the correct Instagram account because
We're
for some
good.
reason, are we? Oh, look at that! We are here. Again, 2 weeks in a row. Look at me. Like, I'm building it. I'm building it. So, hello, everyone on YouTube and on Instagram. You are joining us on our Thursday night. FYF the show. It's not time where I can say the word fully yet, so FYF the show. So welcome in. This we are going to take you on a bit of a journey and a ride. I'm going to take us back like 25, 30 years and bring us back into 2025 with this conversation. But before we jump into any of it, twins, how has your week been?
Week has been weekend. It's been fine. Work, not nothing crazy. Another week. This week been yeah, just chill, no complaints. Had price tonight. It was cut short because it was thundering, so that was a plus. Let's see what else. Yeah, that's really it. I ain't much going on this week. This week is just a regular week. Life is good. Kids good. All's good. How about you?
I love that. I love that. The week has been good. I've It's my slow season at work, so I've been pretending to work and I'm not. Like
Yeah.
I'm just moving my mouse around and sending a couple of emails and I'm strategizing. Actually, ignore that. I'm actually in strategizing mode because I have to think. I have to
There
think
we go. There we go.
the big picture of what it is that I will do next month when we get busy. And the Toronto International Film Festival starts next month. So if you're a big film person, you'll know that there are certain cities that we have huge film festivals. Toronto happens to be one of them, and due to the nature of my job, I get a special industry pass that allows me to basically go in the middle of the day and go watch movies. And it's all a part of my job, believe it or not. I can be in the office and say, yep, I want to be here. What movie should I go watch? And go to my office, and it's all approved for 10 days, just 10 days. After that, it's out. So for 10 days, it's lots of movies, lots of conversations, lots of parties, lots of networking. And then we go into busy season. So I cannot complain. My job has a lot of perks. It doesn't give me a lot of money, but it gives me a lot of perks. So I die. I digress. But honestly, life is good. The sun is shining. Summer looks like it's going to come to an end soon here in Toronto, but I'm praying that it doesn't. I have to get my vitamin D. I'm getting some vitamin D drops because I realize as I age, things are a little bit different. So, I'm getting like my iron up, my vitamin D. I'm taking this supplement now called berberine for insulin resistance. It's supposed to be like nature's Ozempic. Berberine. So it's supposed to be like nature's Ozempic, but of a woman of a certain age, I know that my metabolism isn't what it used to be. And so other than just like working out and eating right and doing all that stuff, I know that I have to take supplements. I'm probably a few years behind. So I'm getting into the supplement game, trying to be more natural and, doing,
Right.
make sure you do the ginger shots and all of those things because I'd like to look like this for as long as possible.
That's the
Your
goal.
future husband. I'm
That's the
working on it, man. Like I don't like I like this at almost 46. So I'd like to keep this going, and so we make a little bit of sacrifice, no chips, candy, and all of that. How was unbigging your belly going? Because I'm unbigging my back and you're unbigging your belly. How's that going?
Look at my belly. Yes, I am. I didn't weigh myself this week, but I'm definitely feeling good, looking good. So I'll probably do that tomorrow, and I'll text you the number. See where I'm at. But no,
I'm feeling it.
feeling good.
The numbers going down on the scale for me too. It's funny. A gentleman came up to the gym to me today, and he's like, "I see you going hard. Like I've been seeing you here like consistently because I go pretty much at the same time. Other than like when I go in the morning, I go pretty much at the same time right after work. And it was nice. He was like, "I see you out here working hard, like pushing weights, doing your thing." I was like, "Thank you. I'm undigging my back." You didn't get it, but I was like, "It's okay.
Oh,
I'm just here. I'm just here to. I'm big. I'm big like that. But no, I agree. Like health is wealth, everybody. Don't let anybody tell you. Like get some sea moss, get like are you gonna realize how many diseases if we just go the natural route, ginger, turmeric, those
Right.
things are magical and we have them in our cupboards. I will tell you the best shot I do is the ginger, turmeric, lemon water shot. Like I just blend it all together. And if you wanted to be fancy and turn it into like a smoothie, I do frozen mango and then it's like a full smoothie and it is delicious. And I switch out the water for almond milk. But I still add the turmeric and I add the ginger. And in order to activate turmeric, you actually need black pepper. So if you're going to do turmeric for it to be fully effective, I just add a little bit of grated like black peppercorn in it, and it is. Listen, I got to do what I got to do. I
I
do what I
see
got to
you're
do.
on it. Shoot, you,
Listen. I'm digging my back, and dear future husband, you don't have to worry. Like I'm gonna keep us together. Don't you worry. If if you aren't together, I got you, dear future husband.
you definitely dropped
Because
some health tips tonight. So you know what I'm saying.
but try the berberine. For those of you who don't want to do Wegovy or can't get Ozempic, and I would not recommend getting Ozempic unless you're diabetic, because what people don't understand is that if you now need to go and get more insurance, it thinks that you have an underlying condition because Ozempic is only for people who are supposed to be diabetic, right? So now your insurance company, because if you run it through insurance and they check, now you're saying that you have an underlying health condition. So try berberine. I'm less than a week in. I had done it like 2 years ago, but honestly, look it up and see all the results and what people are talking about. But especially for women, insulin resistance becomes a big thing at our big age, especially during perimenopause and menopause, of which I am in, but that's not for the men for me to talk about. That's for the ladies. But we move on.
Oh,
We move on. So, dating etiquette. That is what I want to talk about because, again, this show is about getting people married, especially ourselves. We would like to be sitting here. I don't know about you twins. I'd like to be sitting here by the end of 2026 as a married woman. Oh God, what is that? 16 months? You know what? God is good, and all the time. All the time, God is good. So between God, the universe, and rest in peace to my daddy up there, I think it is feasible and let me tell you why it's going to be feasible. Because I do not want to do a wedding until the first anniversary of my marriage. So I
okay.
want to get married first and do a wedding. So if I get proposed to on Wednesday, I can be married by Saturday. I just need to go get the marriage license, get a nice dress, coordinate schedules with the people I need to get there, and book a place for us to have dinner. And I will be married by Saturday, and then I don't have to worry about the whole planning the wedding and so forth. That comes on our first anniversary. See, dear for your husband, I'm even out here saving us money.
Okay, you got it all planned out. Let's go. Let's get it.
In, in my mind, I do. So, but before we get there, I really wanted to talk dating etiquette because I've been seeing some things on the internet that
Okay.
are a little bit appalling to me. And I am wondering if there's just simply no dating etiquette in 2025. And so, gentlemen, I want to hear from you in the chat. Twins, of course, I want to hear from you. Do you feel that in 2025 there is dating etiquette? And if yes, what do you think the dating etiquette is in 2025?
Uh, uh, I don't. I mean, it should be there. I'm not gonna say it is there now. Um, yeah, a lot of people they don't really date anymore. They just like I'm. I message you, you message me, then I come over to your house, or you come to my
Oh,
house.
absolutely no. Mm-mm, mm-mm, mm-mm.
So Yeah. So in this day and age now, it's more like microwave relationship. Everything's quick. Everything's really, really quick. And course, also not intentional. They're quick to do one thing, but not everything else. So that's why you got big numbers of HIV popping up over the place, stuff like that. But anyway, but yes, I mean there should be some type of etiquettes, definitely. So but is there? No.
As someone who is raising a young adult in this era,
Right.
and I know, my daughter getting her first boyfriend
Mm,
before anything could get serious, and she's 23 now. She's gonna be 24 next month, but she was 18 at the time. Let me do the calculation. Yeah, the summer of 2020, because we were in COVID.
okay.
Um, and so she had to bring him to meet me, right? Like he came over the house. I made dinner. This young man brought a gift
Okay.
for her mother, me, and we sat down and we had a conversation. And I, asked him about himself and his, future plans and about his family and different things like that. And I do see that someone wants to join. I will add you in a moment. Um, but you know what I'm saying? Like, I had instilled in her that you don't go out with a young man and be spending time with a young man, and I've never met him. You're not just supposed to be out on the street with somebody's son, and me and your father know nothing about him, right? Like, and I'm actually tougher than her father. So it was always her father was like, listen, send him to your mother first, and then I'll meet him after. Because if you can get through your mother, then I think you'll be fine with me. But for me, I had instilled that. So at 18 and a half, almost 19 years old,
Okay.
when she got her first boyfriend, she knew that one of the steps was introducing that person to her mother and father. Are we missing that part now? Because I feel like even at my big age, if I'm going to be serious with someone, I'm introducing them to my family.
I think they're doing that just later on, not in the beginning. You know,
And
like
that's lit.
yeah, unfortunately it is. Some people don't meet the mother of the kids or the father of the kids until it's too late. Like, oh, so you're the one that's having the baby. I've seen that. I've heard it. So, but yes, I mean, when I was like, for example, for my kids, if I bring my kids today, definitely just my son and daughter, like you want to meet the parents right away. That's gonna also let you know what kind of person they raise. Of course, everyone's gonna be different. You can have the great parents, whatever, and you still be trash. But still, you still want to meet the parents because that's how you get in good grace is meeting mom and dad. What's wrong? Like, oh, no sound. Wait, you can hear me, right? I can't hear you. No sound. But can you hear me? Can you hear me? Chat. Let us know what's going on, chat. Can y'all hear me or her? I didn't move, so I don't know. Everything looks good on my board right here. Oh, now your camera's froze. Okay, there you go. No chat. Anybody else here? Let us know. I can't hear you, love. Okay, somebody said, "Dude, it's clear." I please appreciate it. Says they said you're on mute. Hit the mute button. You're on mute. Hit mute. Brooke and Berlin, what's going on?
How you doing? Now I'm trying to turn the. Oh wow, okay, that was way too close. How you doing?
Doing good, doing good.
Um, we'll just go ahead and keep talking and let her make facial expressions, and
Right,
we'll
right,
do.
right,
All right. So no. This what the Lord gonna give you. So this is what the Lord go. No. All right.
right.
But I don't know how old you are, but I'm 42. And
42.
okay, so I think you understand. We had I think in the early 2000s, because one, you're correct. A lot of times I met women's mom after we had already been,
Right.
I'd say, together for like almost a month,
Mm.
you know? Um, and that was us dating. But I think the whole part before that, before we even became official, I think women like to keep that secret because they don't like they don't want to look like they bringing in a bunch of new guys all the time, especially to their mom.
That's true.
But go ahead and say something, miss.
Can you guys hear me now?
We can hear you now.
Not at all.
Oh
Oh,
my
I thought we was
God.
going. Oh, come on,
Oh,
bruh.
yeah.
I thought we were singing eye to eye, man.
Yeah, I missed it. I missed it.
You know what? Thank you. Thank you so much.
He's
Okay,
a real friend. Okay.
he is. He out here like having you look silly. Okay, I am back. So if I heard you right, can you just repeat what you said so I can be in the conversation? My bad.
Not a problem. I was finding out how old he was, and I was saying back in our days, we really didn't meet the woman's mother until maybe like a month in, and when we were already in, like sex had already happened, real pillow talk had already happened, real arguments, and like the first kind of hiccup had already happened. And if we get past that, then I think the girls would introduce us to the moms because maybe they didn't want to be seem like they were bringing a bunch of different guys coming in all the time. So I don't think a lot of women really involve the mom or the dad into the beginning of the dating process. They don't want to jinx it, and they don't want to also make it seem like they're fast to their mom.
Not that. So I'm off. Oh God, I almost aged myself. I'm 45. I'll be
Okay.
46 in November. And so if I go back 29 years to my first boyfriend when I was 16, I absolutely had no. First of all, I'm Jamaican, so let me start there. Like
Yeah, they're
my mom and dad
completely
don't
different.
play.
Yeah, no, it's not even.
Right.
There's no comparison. I know Jamaicans in New York, and yeah, you couldn't. No, they don't play. No.
So
Right.
it was mandatory that when I was talking about some little boy, that my mom sat down and met his parents. So I remember my first boyfriend. She had to meet him. Then she actually had a conversation with his mother because I was going to be over at their house. So he was either at my house or I was at his house. And so the mothers had to have a conversation to make sure again that everything was on the up and up when the child was in somebody else's house. And like I was telling the story, when my daughter is 23, she'll be 24 next month. And when she had her first little boyfriend at 18, he absolutely had to come sit in my presence. He bought me a gift. He bought me
But wasn't it more
flowers.
your uncles, or was it you? Because in Jamaicans that I knew, you had to meet the uncles.
So because we've emigrated to Canada and I don't
Ah,
have a
Canada.
ton
Okay.
of family here. Yeah, so I
Hmm.
live in Toronto, but I was born in Jamaica and I don't have a ton of family here. It was really my mom and then it was mandatory to talk to my father. So I was very close to my
Oh,
father. My father raised me for the first 9 years of my life and then I emigrated to live with my mother. But then you had to also have a conversation with my father. And that was
yeah.
something for me that was important because I just, even at my big age right now, looking to remarry, I'm married and divorced, looking to remarry, there's stages of it, right? Like I tell any guy I'm dating, if you're going to be intentional, you have to, my father has now passed away, but you have to meet my eldest sister, which is like the representative for my father. You got to meet my eldest sister. You got to
Hmm.
meet I have two moms. I have a biological mom and a stepmom. You clearly meet my daughter. You sit down at council with my
Where are the
friends.
men?
Well, my dad is dead,
I get.
unfortunately, and I have a lot of family back home in Jamaica. So it's different when you've emigrated because your family's very disjointed, right?
But
I have a
you have a bunch of
stepdad.
women vetting your next guy. That's you got to have a guy to vet.
I mean, I have
No, you
my
really
friend's
do.
husband. I have my friend's husband.
Okay, an elder guy,
It counts.
a guy
Uh,
that the guy that the boyfriend sees in reverence. Like,
I,
does that make
I, I,
sense?
I agree with you. No, I agree with you. And my dad passed away unfortunately,
So
God, almost 3 years ago. So my dad was my person because my dad was like my best friend. And any man that I dated, the first thing I did was call my dad and have a conversation with him. And I remember I didn't get married to one of my fiancés because my dad politely told him he couldn't marry me. He said it a little cooler than that. He said, "You actually can't afford to marry my daughter because she'll still be coming to me. And the whole point of giving my daughter to you is so that she doesn't need me. And I think she'll still need me, so you can't marry her." And so we didn't get married. So I did have like a very strong male presence, but now at this stage in my life, unfortunately, with my dad gone, I
Who
have
was
a
your dad's best
stepfather
friend?
who is my dad,
Your dad's best friend, who's a
Mr.
male.
Mr. Harold, and he's in New
Then you
York.
should reach out to him and maybe have a conversation with him about maybe joining in on this process, because he
Ooh, that's
knows
a
your
good idea.
father. He knows what your father would probably approve of. And that's a way to kind of bring in some masculinity in this vetting process.
I like your thinking. I like that. You know what? I'm going to talk to my sister about, Mr. Harold. I also have my brother-in-law. My sister is,
Not the,
uh,
it's got to
yeah,
be
he
an elder.
counts. No, my sister,
No,
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 he
he
is
doesn't.
older.
No, no,
My
no, okay.
sister is 14
Or
years
ask
older
your
than
co-host if
me.
he thinks he counts. Twins. Do you think the brother-in-law would be someone who could be a?
Yes,
he
he's 10
just
years
he
older
just keep
than me.
drinking.
Brother-in-law. Yeah, that's gonna. Yeah.
Why? Why do you guys think that? They've been married for almost like 30 years, like
I mean that. I mean, okay.
20.
Your man wants you.
Because
It's going to be
because the
like
man
20
won't
years.
respect him, because the man might see the brother-in-law and might think that he's in a marriage that's not very actually. mm, a lot of times as men we look at other men in marriages and see that they're in a prison, so he won't be able to vet him. No, no, a lot of men get emasculated in their marriages,
That's a
so
fact.
it's very difficult for a new guy to take counsel from a guy that's like, man, you having sex what 4 times a year? I ain't listening to you. Like it's a you gotta it has to be an elder. It does.
We need to, you know what? We need to have a conversation about that, because there's a lot of men. I wasn't one of those men though that were married and they wouldn't keep it real. They want to keep the facade like, oh, marriage is a
They
great thing.
trying to trick you to join the club of misery, right?
Nah, I tell them exactly what it is. No, 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 no. And like,
Y'all are about to gang up on me tonight. Hold on.
yeah, there's so
We're just having a conversation when no one's ganging up.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, like you just said, there's
Hold on.
get sex 4
Go
times.
on, please.
That was that was that was that wasn't my situation. That's one thing.
But it is the situation for the majority of men. I understand it wasn't yours, but when we speak about majority of on
No,
a
no, no,
global
I
scale,
totally agree. But what I'm saying is this, like, because I have conversation, because of course, when you marry, you want to you talk with other married men. I don't have to meet single guy friends. It's not a good mix to a certain extent. But I had this conversation with these guys, and they talking about, yeah, man, I only get head, you know what I'm saying, on Father's Day, my birthday. I'm like, what? I'm like, that's like a prerequisite before we even get started. How we just that's every holiday. So yeah. So once again, I understand that what you're saying, because some people like bringing misery in. No, I'm gonna tell you the good, the bad, and ugly before you get in, so you can make a proper decision before you jump in this thing called marriage. I was like, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, listen, I respect and appreciate that as someone clearly who's been married and now divorced. But my question would be, how does one get there? Because how do you go from being so in love with your spouse, your partner, your forever person, to all of a sudden not having sex? Because for me, intimacy and sex is part of love. Like they're tied together for me. It is like cooking for me. Like the way I show my man love is to cook for him, to nurture him. And part of like intimacy is part of how I show love. So my question is, if this is what's happening, that was also not the case in my marriage at all. It's not the case in any of my relationships, but especially in my marriage, it was not the case. But how do we get there? How do you go
um,
from sex 5 times a day, 3 times a day, then it goes to 7 days, seven once a day, then it goes to a couple of times a week, then it goes to a couple of times a year? How does one get there?
you want to go first? Or you want me to go first, twins? Because you've actually been married. I've just been a bartender for over 25 years and heard the stories of marriage and
damn.
know from
You heard
both
it all.
sides.
And
Women get too used to men. After a certain amount of time, I would say about either 4 years or after the second child comes, that women start to fail to get out of mommy mode, and they're in mommy mode
Yeah.
with their kids, and then it ends up transferring to the husband, and she starts delegating everything. She even starts delegating his fatherhood, and in our culture, especially, I'm not Christian, but I've studied a lot of different religions, and it's supposed to be the sun, the earth, the moon. The children are the earth, the mother is the moon, and the father is the sun, and the earth and the moon are supposed to orbit the sun. But in our culture,
Mhm.
it's backwards. It's the sun and the earth orbiting the moon, and the father is trying to orbit around the mother's emotions. The kids are having to orbit around the mother's emotions, and everyone's trying to kind of keep it where mom doesn't flip out, because mom's the one that's kind of the one everyone's trying to keep calm and happy, and she's the one that's delegating and that's why I think our natural balance is not lasting for a lifetime. It's because we're very short-sighted about marriage. We want to get married, but rarely people try to make it to the end of life together. And this is why I say it's very important when you speak to women, that don't ask what kind of man you want to marry. Ask who you want to grow old with. What's his personality type? Who's the kind of person that you can actually see yourself being with for the rest of your life? And when you really dive down and ask those questions, a lot of times the answer is it's their bisexual guy friend. It's the truth. For a lifetime, a lot of women don't want to grow old with men. They don't. Maybe you're different. You had two parents, so you saw that dynamic. But in most cases, I don't think that many women want to grow old with a man as he's starting to lose his faculties and get more forgetful. And when that woman makes that sound, that when you're just a man trying to just exist in her presence, and you've done something and she of disgust, the relationship's over. You're just now in it because you're married.
mm,
Twins.
nah, he was that's a my job right there. Hey, that's probably might be like the worst feeling. That's part you was saying when you're in a marriage and you see her have that disgust look, like, damn, this is how you feel about me? Everything I'm doing, I'm trying to maintain and do this and keep the roof and all this. And I did maybe one thing and you gave me the look like I'm just the worst piece of trash, and like, it's me. Like, girl, it's me. Okay, I'm not perfect, but goddamn, you may seem like I ran over your toe or something on purpose. So I know that feeling. I got that feeling before. So I know exactly what you're saying. It's like,
And
damn.
that feeling is what makes men cheat. The woman may not even look as good as your wife, but when you have that energy coming from the woman that you're trying to love, and then some other woman comes and reminds you that you're funny, reminds you that you're clever, reminds you that you're, that's how you lose them.
Yeah, but I think the part, and welcome, by the way, to the show. The part that I think people forget about any relationship, especially marriage, is that you have to choose each other every day, right? Marriage isn't, I think people get married, they have the wedding, everybody goes home, and now they're in the situation that they think just because I say I do means I did forever. Marriage is something that you wake up every day and you choose the person every single day. Being in a relationship is a choice and it does take work. And one of the things we talk about on the show is how much work people will put into their actual jobs, but forget about the work that goes into maintaining the foundation of a relationship, because we are going to change, right? Like, I'm in a stage of change right now as a woman going through perimenopause. I have no idea. I've never been through perimenopause. I have no idea what my life looks like for the next 2 years in perimenopause, but I know that I am making a choice how I deal with this change in my life and how it potentially impacts my future marriage. I am conscious of that. And so I'm making choices every day to say, if I see that there's something happening that's going to negatively impact any relationship I end up with, I have to circumvent that somehow. But we go into things just thinking that we've done the thing, we've gotten married now, and that's it. No, it's not. That's when the real work begins, when everybody goes home after they've had their $125 a plate meal and
Mm.
left you a toaster or $50 in a card, right? Like the real work begins at that point because now you have to maintain the foundation of this marriage. If it is that the foundation of the marriage is actually is not quicksand, because too many people are getting married on a foundation of quicksand. Like, let's really talk about it. Some people should have never gotten married. Some women should have never been chosen by a certain man. And so when you complain 5, 10 years later about, oh well, maybe you picked wrong. Like you picked
I think
wrong.
people just change. I don't think people pick wrong. I think it's a lot of times it's people change, and secondly, um, marriage was not built for us. Um,
When you say
and
us, are you referring to black people? I just want to
yes,
clarify for the audience. Thank you.
yes, people of color. Yes, I the ideologies of marriage. We didn't have any say so of how that was created. We just inherited it. I think that especially people in our age gaps, if you're not having children and the man already has children, or even, I think us in our 40s, we need to figure out a way to be married, but not be married through the governmental systems, because there's no reason for a man, and if you got married to a man, like he's not getting any kids, why should he have to deal with the penalties of divorce? I think we don't have a lot of examples of people trying to make it to the end of life. So maybe it's a chance for us in the 40s. We get with each other outside of the governmental marriage contracts, only to show younger people a blueprint of how we could actually try to stay together for a lifetime. Because if we don't do it, there will be zero examples of it in the future.
What do you think that blueprint looks like? Because going back to the topic at hand, the blueprint starts from the very beginning, before you get married, when you're dating, when you're courting. So, give us some idea of what you think that blueprint looks like.
Well, it would be okay. For example, I'm 42, you're 49. I already have.
45, 45, 5,
So,
4,
sorry,
5.
45. Okay. Do you want to have children, or do you want to have
Absolutely
more
not.
children?
No, I
Okay,
have a
okay,
23-year-old.
okay. I'm
Mhm.
just asking. Okay, so if there's no children being coming from this, then if we have a divorce, anything that if we have a divorce, my children will lose partially of what I've already built for them. So the way we would do it is just to create a life union, and it doesn't. Maybe my side of the family has a conversation with your side of the family, and they help hold us up, because that's one thing that's missing in marriages. It's not supposed to be just us. It's supposed to be a union of families, and the families kind of hold you up. And when shit gets hard, you can have conversations with your. Sometimes I need to say something to you that you won't hear from me. I maybe need to speak it to your sister, and then your sister will speak it to you in the right way if you don't have like a drama ass crazy sister. And maybe the same thing for me. Maybe I'm not hearing what you're saying, but you can have a conversation with my brother or my uncle. And then my uncle can articulate it to me in a way that I'm like, oh, okay, now I understand it. Sometimes it needs to be my family that checks me, not you trying to check me. And sometimes it has to be your family that checks you, not me trying to check you.
I respect that. Twins, thoughts?
Yeah. So pretty much what he's saying is a village. It takes a village. Long story short.
Absolutely. Absolutely. As a Jamaican, trust me, I understand that everything we do is a village, right?
Yeah.
Everything we do.
I saw marriages working on reservations. So I came from in Oklahoma. So I've seen marriages work in the poorest of conditions. And when people have a whole lot, I've seen marriages fail. So I've always kind of equated it with like, it's this, the more you try to want, the more desires that you have inside of a marriage, the more you're kind of building it to fail. Uh, Keep it simple, stupid. Just sit back, build your bubble, let the world burn, keep your sister group away, and I'll keep my bachelor friends away. We're trying to do something different. And I think it's very important to isolate and then build and then bring in the people who help cultivate the relationship. And that's it.
I think what you're talking about, though, is intentionality. right? It's people going into things intentional. And I think often what's missing, this is something that Twin says all the time in our new microwave age, is the intentionality. We're not looking at values, we're not looking at alignment, right? I think alignment in relationships are important, shared values are important, and people are not going into things intentional. They're going wishy-washy. It's a very Jamaican word, but they're going very wishy-washy into things without thinking through what this means. To your point, let's talk about the end if it were to happen. If the end happens, what are we prepared to lose if we're losing anything? Who's having that conversation? Because a lot of people, men and women, because I brought up the prenup conversation to men and to women, I've had the same equal reaction. Why would you plan your demise when you're supposed to be happy? And I'm like, because it's called being proactive. We are too
Yeah.
reactionary. So I'm going to plan for the bad times during the good times instead of when I'm in bad times and emotions take over. I'm now planning for that. It's as Twins who's recently gone through a divorce. He can tell, he can talk to that. But that's what I'm saying. Like, are we having those fundamental conversations? And to your point, one of the things I've said on the show is if you're going to marry somebody, marry who they are today, not who you think they're going to be tomorrow, but who they are today. Can you today see yourself with, if they never change, even though I do believe change is inevitable and it's the one thing we do, but if they never change, can you have this person forever for the next 40 plus years of your life? And if the answer is no, if you're marrying on what the potential of what that partner could be, good luck. Twin thoughts.
I believe men and women get married. They want to get married, but they don't have the same goals or why they want to get married, right? Meaning, I ask a lot of women, so why you want to get married? You know what I'm saying? Like, why? And, I always want to be married, find my king, blah, 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 blah. Okay, that's cool and all, but why you want to get married? And a lot of them don't have a reason why they want to get married. Or I'll ask them a question. I said, so what's the benefit of the man getting married, right? Or I just say to them, what's the benefit of being married? And most of the time, what most of them say, 90% of them say, well, if you die, I have the final say. I'm like, what's that got to do with it? I'm dead at that point. It's no benefit for me, right? And then
So weird.
they asked me, so what's your benefit? So they asked me, so why did you get married? I said, for legacy. I wanted to have kids, and I wanted to raise them right, and then house, stable home, and I want my last name to carry on. Have my son and my daughter, and that's what I wanted, a legacy for them. It's like, oh yeah. So,
But do you think that marriage leads to legacy? Because I don't think it does anymore.
no,
I see a lot of married men when they have their divorce get child alienated, and it's unfortunately it's the norm in our sister code. Like, I don't think the women are inherently that bad. I think it's their friends that convince them to do this horrible stuff to the man when the love is gone.
no, you're absolutely right. And once again, that was me. I got married when I was 28,
Okay.
very young. So that was my life back then.
You think 28 is young for getting married?
Not really, because
Okay.
I
All right.
wanted to have kids at 30, which I had
Right.
30. By the time I hit 50, I'm done. I had it all planned out. So I'm 43. So the next 7 years, I'm done. But anyway,
Do you want more kids?
oh no, I'm good. I got
So would you ever get married again?
oh yeah, definitely get married again.
Why, if you're not having any more children?
Well, because we need each other, man and woman, right? Companionship, X, Y,
Amen.
Z, whatever.
I agree.
So I definitely be able to. Now, mind you, this is the
Mhm.
old me. Now, technically, we don't have to be legally married to be together, right? I was telling
Right.
I said, listen, I was telling somebody, like, don't get married. And not saying not be with the woman. I'm saying don't go through the legal corporate system, because that's how stuff gets jammed up. I said, if you think about it, all you gotta do is name change. $500. People change the name all the time. All you gotta do is change the last name and you're done. Y'all live together. You can get life insurance without being married. So I don't know why people feel that you have to be married to have that type of thing. I
Well,
was
let's ask: would you get married without it being through the U.S. governmental system?
me.
No, the lady
Oh,
below us.
oh,
Yes.
Sheba, go ahead.
Would I get married if we didn't get like a marriage license? Absolutely. I trust me. Let me tell
No,
you,
I
as
said
somebody
without.
who,
I said without the U.S.
yes,
governmental system.
what is getting a marriage license, and that's what the, I mean, I'm in Canada, but yes, um, yes, I would, because as someone who was married and knew
Hmm.
how easy it was to be married and how hard it was to get divorced, um, yeah, I would be fine with that. It was very hard for me to get divorced because I still don't know where my ex-husband is. I have no clue where in the world he is, and I had to go through a system of showing that I had done everything in my power to find my husband for some judge to tell me, yes, you are now allowed to get divorced. But to get a marriage license, all I had to do was go and pay some money, and I had it the same day.
Did you
So
have kids with this husband?
absolutely, I did not.
Okay.
I did not. I did not.
So did he really just disappear, or or
Mhm.
did he like just block you?
He did a lot of things. I mean, I had private investigators try to find him. He was in the U.S. military. I had people in the military try to find him. I didn't want anything. Like I said to twins, I was entitled as his wife, as a military wife, to a lot of
Hmm.
things. I didn't want any of it. I said I didn't. I wasn't the one fighting. He's got
Did he
PTSD.
did he know you didn't? Did he know you didn't want any of it?
Yeah, absolutely, because I told him.
Also,
Did he believe you? Because I mean, if he for a man to disappear and a military guy, he probably either didn't believe, or he's starting a new family and he just doesn't want you to be able to take away from that.
There was nothing that I was going to take away. My ex-husband told me, "You're the only woman I wanted to marry, and I'm not going to divorce you so you can go and marry somebody else." And that was his final words to me. The last time he spoke to me, he told me, "That's just it. You're the woman I want to marry." So he was going to make it difficult for me to divorce him, which is whatever. It took me a lot of years, but I did
That's
it.
why you're
But
supposed
I
to have
didn't
your
want
uncles and
anything.
father involved because they would have checked that.
But I didn't. Here is my biggest thing. Like, I wasn't with him shooting in the gym. I'm a big believer in that. As somebody who watched the fact that my now ex-husband lost 30% of his hearing because of the military, and they didn't know. I was the only one who knew. He had to learn how to read lips if you were on one side of it. So I had to stand on one side. But like, I understood what my husband had to do. And I'm not even American. I'm Jamaican Canadian, right? I understood what that black man had to do to survive in the military. So, what would it look like me turning around and saying, I deserve part of the blood, sweat, and tears? I just wasn't raised
That
that
would be
way.
normal.
I
That you would
wasn't
look like
raised
you would look like the average modern
I
woman. Like,
wasn't I wasn't raised that way though. Like I having a conversation with my father, there is no way my dad would put a stamp of approval for me to fight a man for something that I didn't earn. I showed up and I was his wife. I did my duty and my job. And out of that, my husband was a good man in many ways. He did some bad things, which is why we got divorced, right? He didn't do some of the greatest things, but it didn't make him a bad man, and I wasn't angry at him. Listen, my husband had 3 babies on me. One we proved by DNA test. I didn't stick around for the other two, right? And even with that said, I wasn't even angry. My husband wanted a wife. He just wasn't ready to be a husband, and I get it. We were 28 years old. We got married. He was a big military man. All that
and
stuff.
he already
It
had
is
kids
what
at
it
the
is.
time,
It's
right?
life. He had one child. I had one child. So we had
So
one
you had a
child
child and he had a
going
child,
on.
and then you guys got married, right?
And we got married, and we didn't want any additional children. I don't believe in children with different men, and so I was never going to have a child beyond the child that I already have because I fundamentally don't believe in it. So that's
What
why I
did your
never
dad
had
say
another
about this?
child.
Because he was alive at the time, right?
My dad was alive at the time.
Well,
To be honest, held a lot of this information from my dad, because at the end of the day, part of my job as a wife is to protect my husband. And
but part of your
irregardless
role as
of
a
the
daughter is to tell the truth to your father.
I get that, but when we leave our parents' home, we cleave to ourselves, right? I cleave
But
to my
you're
husband.
okay.
I get
But
that. I might be
you're feeding
wrong.
falsehoods. So it's like you're painting a narrative to leave the household that's not true.
I
So
get
you should
that. I get that.
okay.
But my job, I wasn't just my father's daughter. I was my husband's wife. And so
But you're
part
your
of my
father's daughter
job,
first. You were
I
the father's daughter
completely get
first.
that. Completely get
Okay.
that. Completely get that. But my job was still to protect my husband because at any point I could have decided to go back to my husband. And the problem is when we go out and we put too much of our business as wives and husbands to our families and friends, that reconciliation becomes very difficult because they have long memories. When you have forgiven and you have potentially forgotten, your family doesn't. And to your point about 20 minutes ago, right? We need community. We need community to support us and uphold the sanctity of marriage. And so if I went and spilled every bad deed my husband did to anybody who would listen to me, that would mean that now I have broken a covenant with my husband. I've broken a covenant within my marriage because now all of these extra people get to look at my husband in a way that maybe he absolutely deserves. He cheated. He had a baby. It was wrong. However, I will preface it to
You
say,
should have
hold
just
on,
kept
let
that
me
with your
actually
family
give you the
tribe, not your friends. That should have just stayed with the
my
men in your
friends. My
family.
friends didn't even know. My friends barely knew.
Then okay,
My
let me
friends
let
didn't know
twins
until
talk
I
because I
left.
think maybe you might think I'm challenging you. I'm just go
No,
ahead,
I
twins. My
don't
fault.
know. No, I'm not. I'm not. I don't think it's a challenge. It's a conversation, right? We're all about
Okay,
respectful
so I'm just
discourse
making
here.
sure.
But
Okay.
no, I absolutely think my job as a wife is to protect the sanctity of my family, and my family was my
But your
husband.
yes, no. Your family is your family that you. Okay. Again, I'm
But
not Christian, but
who
again, the way that I know the book, and it's supposed to be you leave your family to go to this husband and start a new family. I get that, but if you left your family on falsehoods and you didn't tell your family the truth about the situation, then you shouldn't have left the family to go with this man in the first place.
but I didn't leave in all falsehood. He had the baby in the marriage.
You
We were
said
already
there's things that
married.
you did. There are things that you said. Wait, you just said that there's things that you didn't divulge to your father about the husband,
Yes,
correct?
like the baby. That happened within our marriage. We were now
Okay.
married. What
I
was
thought you
my
said he
dad
had a
gonna
baby. I
say?
thought you said he had a baby
No, we
already
had
before you
two
married. You had a baby
children. We had two children prior to getting married. We had our own children. And when we came
okay.
into the marriage,
Before you
I
got
found
married,
out
did you tell
about
your
his
father the truth about your husband? Did he know
but
that?
there was nothing for him to what was the truth. I think you're misunderstanding. The baby that
Let me
I'm
ask the
referring
twins. Let
to
me let twins
was
because
born
I
within the
think maybe
husband.
twins will understand from a man's point of view, kind of what I'm saying.
So, the question he's asking is that make sure I understand as well that did your dad know that he had a child before y'all got married?
Yes. We both had children. Of
Okay.
course
And
he knew that.
your dad vouched for him. Your dad liked him. Did you tell your
My
dad the
dad
truth about him and maybe some of the issues that you felt about him before you got married? Did you speak to your father about the things that maybe you were worried about, or did you just paint a pretty picture to your dad to let him know, like, hey, everything's great, and then you left the house? Like,
Well, it depends. It depends because I mean, I'm sure right away the marriage can go bad right away, right?
it did not.
So
that's what the man's there for. The man's a lot of times women think they have like divine intervention, and many women do. But a lot of men have the same thing, especially when it's their daughter. And when they're meeting men, they can see the future. And then if the father has a safe space with you, he can articulate those things to you. If you said woman can receive your father's counsel, a lot of women can't. But if you could, a lot of times the father will flesh that out. And if he could speak with you honestly and you receive it honestly and you would take his advice, I think a lot of women wouldn't find themselves in the situations that they're in.
That is
I get that.
possible.
I get that.
Hindsight is 2020. That is possible. That I'm not going to take that away. Maybe if I had opened up more, but there are also things that I did not see until I was in the marriage. But to your point, maybe my father would have seen it. I don't know that hindsight is 2020, but I'm still going to stick to my guns and say I truly believe that when you're in a marriage, that it is your job to protect your spouse and not everything that is happening in the home should leave the home. What's happening
That's
in
true.
the home
That's
sometimes
still a true
W-
statement.
is
women might be in an abusive
in the
relationship.
home.
Then women, I know women
And
who have been in abusive relationships.
that's the
No, no, no,
extreme.
no,
Like
it's
that's
no,
the
it's
like
the
abuse is a
same.
bit of an
I know it's
extreme.
different, but it's the same train of thought. Where sometimes women will be in really bad situations where they're embarrassed to tell their family or their father or whatever. But I don't know if that mentality of I need to protect my image and facade of this marriage for the sanctity of marriage instead of being truthful it is the best route to think about how to actually. Maybe
Well,
I'm wrong.
it depends on the level or whatever the issue is, right? So,
Okay.
for example, like because this stuff I would tell my mom about my ex-wife early in our relationship, which was minor stuff, but to her, she might have like feel a certain way about it, right? Oh, you don't be with her. I'm like, meanwhile, me and my wife at that time got past it because it was something minor. But sometimes
The-
the family member they will hold on to those things,
Amen.
and now it's like a forever a beef, which is not that deep. So it really depends based on what was really going on. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
Like based on the, you know what, she puts her hands on me. Like that's something you might want to have a
That's
conversation about.
extreme. Exactly.
Thing. Not
Okay.
that.
Did any of your family members point out any red flags in your wife at the time before, and you had kind of ignored it, and then now in
Yeah,
hindsight, you're like,
yeah.
okay, why didn't you take their counsel?
Because they ain't got their ish together. Now,
But their counsel still might be good. It's like
it,
sometimes people won't. You can't give marriage advice if you've never been married, and I'm like, okay, maybe, but
that's
it
true
still
too.
might be good counsel.
It is to a certain extent, but I could say this based on the gripes they had, it had nothing to do with why I got divorced. You understand what I'm saying?
Okay. Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Like, and you're new to the show, but I talk about it all the time. The reason why I got divorced because I want her, and and she already knows already. I asked her to get a job, right? And I
Mhm.
waited 3 years. In 3 years, she didn't get a job. So I said, we'll separate. Not divorce. I said separate. And she's like, well, just be done. And then she went and filed. So that's why that's how I became.
She okay, so she was a stay-at-home wife with the
Yeah,
kids.
yeah. She hasn't worked for ever since my daughter was born. She didn't work. Not because I
Okay.
wanted to, because we had a plan that hey, once the kids get a certain age, you go back XYZ. Had mother-in-law move in, so you had an in-house babysitter, but
Mhm.
got real comfortable. Got real
Do you
comfortable.
did she gain weight?
I mean, normal weight. I mean, shoot, we both ain't the same size we were in our early 20s, but she still look good now. You know what I'm saying? So
Okay.
she's
Did the
not
passion fall off?
the
Did the
what?
passion fall off? Did the passion fall off?
Oh no, that no.
So what? Okay, so she didn't want to work. Like, did you guys have so many bills that you needed her to work?
I was working 2 jobs. I was
Okay, well
burning,
okay, then never mind.
I was burning myself out at the same time,
Yeah.
still trying to be a father. So even though I was still working 2 jobs, I was still doing father stuff like sports,
Yeah.
basketball, XYZ. And also, I'm a forward thinker, right? So
Okay.
meaning this is that listen, my one job I had because I've been there for like 13, 14 plus years, right? So my income that I had or my house I bought, right, was based off that income. So what I was trying to prepare for to prevent from happening, like jobs lay people off all the time. So I'm
Yes.
like, if something will ever happen, I lose this job, we're gonna be kind of messed up, right?
Right.
Said,
Yes.
so I was like, you should get something. And it wasn't like I was gonna hire her to pay bills. I just want her to get something just in case on a rainy day, right?
Yes.
So long story short, she never did that. And the crazy part is the same. I got served on Monday from her a divorce, and then that same week, that Thursday, I got laid off from my job, which I was trying to prevent XYZ what happened. So it still kind of happened, but once again, I already had a job lined up. So I was already, you know what I'm saying? I already had things lined up. But it's the point I was trying to make is that that's the whole reason why that I want her to get a job. And I gave her 3 years. You know what I'm saying? 3
A
years.
long time.
365
Was
days.
her father alive?
Huh?
Was her father alive or
He
around?
passed, he passed away, but he actually lived
Mm.
at so at one point the mom and mom still lived with us, but the dad was living with us too as well. But he wasn't that type of father to kind of like, he was much older, but he didn't say much. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah. Okay, so all right, sorry, but this
Oh, yeah,
all goes back to dating
good.
etiquettes. It really does, and dating etiquettes in our time, like I said, I think we took them not so serious, but we treated each other with more grace because we both knew that we were trying to build something we didn't know how to build.
Uh-huh.
And so I think in the early 2000s, like we were more gracious with each other, men and women, in trying this dating thing. And now here we are 20 years later, and I think it's turned into a complete finesse on both sides. The men are lying to the women about what they are, and the women are lying to the men about what they want. And I think dating etiquette now has completely changed. And I think for us in the 40s, we still can remember chopping it up on the block and sitting in the car and talking for hours. And,
Mhm.
you
Man.
know, so I think that the way this pendulum's going, we're the only ones who can turn it back to something logical. And maybe one day we need to have we should make a, like, how could we people in our 40s, how can we get married outside of the governmental system in a way that actually could lead to us having real examples of us growing old together for the younger generation to see, and then they can mirror that.
I mean, one thing I would say, that however that look or however it's put together, the main thing got to be accountability put into it. You have to have accountability, because if you don't want to do something, or not you want to do something, but if no one's going to hold you accountable to keep this thing rolling,
Yeah.
I can't do it by myself. You know what I'm saying? It's like in my marriage, I couldn't do by myself. I couldn't get her to do something that she didn't want to do. And then no one was trying to tell her, hey, girl, your man doing X, Y, Z, man doing this. You might want to, you know what I'm saying? Like, you sure you want to go ahead and file you and leave your man? Like, no one's, that's the one thing about the amount of all the aunties, the cousins, the sisters, the brothers, like, and because I took care of a lot of the family, not that I took care of them, but that looked out.
Yeah.
And I was good to them and her and X, Y, Z. And that's the one thing with my mind about the whole situation. I'm like, hey, no one tell her, like, girl, you might not want to do that. Like, not one of your sisters, your aunts, your cousins. I'm like, yo, you got
No,
who's taking care of his kids.
it's our culture to it's our culture to leave when shit gets tough.
Yeah.
It's just it just is.
And then also, and also too, when you leave, you get the bag.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And of course, unfortunately, because how my situation happened, her bag wasn't as big as she thought it was, or was going to be, because I was making a lot of good money at that time. But like I said, I don't know, the moon and stars line up perfectly, because I got left at the right time. Was the wrong time, but apparently, based on what I was making at that time, it was the right time.
I broke up with my child's mother right before the pandemic and sold my share of the bar before the pandemic hit. So
Mhm.
my share of it was still high. And then 4 months later, if I would have tried to sell my portion of the bar then,
Yeah,
so you know, so yeah, sometimes the bad timing is perfect timing, you know.
exactly.
Amen. Amen.
All right, I'll let you guys continue. I'm
Um,
sorry if I derailed
no,
you.
no,
Or,
no, no, no. You
all
did
right.
not. I actually wanted, if you don't mind staying on for 2 more minutes. So,
No,
as
not a
part of
problem.
the show, one of the things that we do is give dating tips for people who are intentional. And you said something about, like, really it is up to us in our age group to swing the pendulum back. So, if you had to give a dating tip to those who are intentionally looking to be coupled, what would that be?
Okay, well, this is for the guys. This is one of my favorite vetting questions to kind of find out how the woman really is. And if you ask a woman, like, have the men in your family, have they talked to you about their issues with family court or child alienation or things of that nature? And if the women say no, then I know that they're not a safe space for the men in their family. They'll not. She'll not want to be a safe space for me. If the men in her family can't even turn to her for counsel to get some feminine energy to heal their heart when shit got really tough for them, then there's no way that I'll get that. So that's one of the ways that I say that it's a great way to kind of vet and find which kind of woman you really want to grow old with. It's not about the woman for now. It's about the woman who you'll be 50 and 60 and 65 years old watching Wheel of Fortune with like my pawpaw and nanny did and laughing, and both of them just stupid as hell, getting every question wrong on Jeopardy, but they do it together, you know? And that's what I think is the most important. So asking those kind of questions, asking a woman what kind of man does she want to grow old with is one of the most important questions you can ask. Because again, sometimes women will describe the man that they want to divorce. Sometimes women will turn the man that they love into the man that they hate. And they don't even mean to do it intentionally. It's just something that sometimes happens. Just like sometimes for men, you might turn your woman sexually into the woman that has to cheat on you. So maybe you need to kind of calm down some of your sexual desires and trying to put them on her. And then all of a sudden you've opened Pandora's box, and now all of a sudden she's not satisfied with you anymore. We have to sometimes calm our desires of what we want from the other person and just let them be and exist in that.
Thank you. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you for sharing
You
that.
get two.
I
You get
appreciate
two.
you. I know, right?
You get-
I try to be balanced at all times. You know, I'm not one of, again, I got to get tips from both sides. You know, I can't be, I can't be messing up I can't make all the women walk out the bar and then all the dudes like, bro, what did you do? Like, you don't get no tips for that. You got to give both. Like, you get no tips, sir. Unless I get laid. That's how it used to be back in the early 2000s. Like dead ass, you know. You gotta start the conversations where everyone leaves happy. You know. So,
I
yeah.
appreciate that. Well, thank you. Thank you for joining the show, and we hope that you check us out and decide to join again. Every week I put the link in the
I've seen you
comment
guys a few
section.
times. You guys are amazing. I
Oh my
out of
God,
all
thank
these
you so
YouTube.
much.
It used to be What the Funk Is This, but I had to change my channel name because I'm old and I lost my phone and I couldn't figure out how to, you know. This is a safe space. Don't judge me. So
It's okay. I did it, but my daughter still helps me fix stuff. Don't even trip.
okay. All right. So, but yeah, no, I think I've watched your guys' lives like maybe 4 times, and each
Thank
time
you
you
so
always have
much.
great conversations. Great. Um, I, I want you guys to bring your friends into this because you guys have great conversations, and I would love to see people who you're already familiar with be able to build on some of the things that you guys talk about. Or you
Yeah,
guys just got to
thank
get
you for
married
that.
because seriously, your guys' back and forth is on point. So if maybe y'all got the marriage pack when y'all 55 years old, like fuck it, when we 55, we just gonna do it. You know, maybe y'all
I'm
got
trying
that.
to get married by the end of next year. So I'm not waiting till 55.
I mean, no. I think women really should your male best friend. If you're already 40, have the conversation and. I mean, it might just be a little bit of sex. Like we 40, it ain't gonna be crazy like that. So I mean, you ain't got to do a whole lot of work. Like talk to your male best friend about maybe creating a blueprint, especially if you want your children to get married. If you want your kids to try to be married, then you need to show them something.
No, I agree. Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah, a couple of people tried to get in some marriage pacts with me, and I was like, I'm going to get married before that. But God bless
But
you. Thank you for
what's
joining
the age when
us.
you'll finally what's the age when you'll finally start entertaining some of these marriage pacts? Was it 52, 50, 49?
I mean, I was married at 28, divorced a few years ago, so I think I can. I still think I got a good 2 years in me. I'll be 46 in November, so before I
Okay.
turn 48, I might entertain some and call some of these people up. But
You want to do it.
I
You
think
do it
I'm
before
there.
you hit 50. If you
Oh,
wait till
I'm not
50, you
gonna.
might
I'm
get
not.
laughed at. So
I am not gonna wait till I'm 50 to remarry. Absolutely, like that is my fear.
no, I'm saying
Having to have
don't
a
wait till you're 50 to
child
start
and
reaching out to the guys. Like
no.
reach out at 48 when you still are attractive and you
Yeah,
see.
no,
Look, you
wait till
still
I'm 50.
you do it 47 maybe 47. Just get
Oh
them.
my God!
Way too long.
That's a
Too
shade. That's a shade.
Am I lying, sir? Am I lying?
Not at
A-
all.
a-
Okay.
Okay.
Not
That's
Am
a
I good?
shade.
Am I giving good sound advice, sir?
good advice.
Listen, I
Okay.
said I want to be married by the end of 2026, which gets me like right before I'm 47. Like my birthday's November 19th. I got
That's a year and
November
3 months.
18th. Before.
You want to be married
God
within a
is
year and
good.
3 months.
God is good. My daddy and Jesus and the universe, they're up there doing something. I feel it in my bones. Listen, come to watch. You're going to see I will be married
Just make sure
by
you're doing some
November
squats then.
18th.
Just make sure
I
you're
was
doing your
just at
squats.
the gym. Listen, you missed my conversation about all my vitamins and stuff that I take. I was just at the gym, and a gentleman came up to me and said, "I
I,
see you." I
I
said,
didn't
"I
say
know
nothing
you
about. I
see me."
said squats.
Listen, I do it
Squats.
all.
Okay.
Listen,
Okay. All right. All right.
I know I'm
Then you'll.
kidding.
Okay.
I know I'm
Okay. Then you'll get.
kidding,
Then
but
you'll find.
I'm kidding
Then.
on
Then.
something.
Okay. Then you'll find. Then he's there and he's looking. You just now you gotta.
See?
If you're
No,
doing your
he's
squats, then
there.
yeah. Then you just gotta pick
Squats,
one.
lunges, hills, the whole thing. I run up the
Well,
hills.
well, no,
I
well, no.
do the
Then
whole
your
thing.
husband's already in your phone. You just haven't picked
Oh
him.
no, he's there. Oh no, he's there. He's definitely there.
Your
But we
husband's already in
digress.
your phone. Okay. All right.
He's definitely there. He's definitely
Okay.
there.
Okay. All right.
We
All
just
right.
waiting. Come on, daddy. Come on, dead daddy. We working on it.
Stepdaddy, you got a grown. You gotta be those
I
stepdaddy.
said
You got a
no.
grown
No, I
kid.
said
You gotta
no.
be those
I told my
stepdaddy.
dad no. Daddy. So that when I point up, I'm talking to my deceased dad. So I would say, dead
Okay.
daddy, you're up there working your magic. My daddy's
Okay.
up there doing
Where
his
did
thing.
you go
But I digress.
lady?
Your daddy up there watching TV. He is in his
No, I
own
was
world. He is
I was his
okay.
favorite. No, he's not. I was my daddy's favorite. No, he
Okay.
wants me to be married. But that's what my daddy wants for me. Come on, daddy. Just prove him wrong. But thank you
Okay.
so much. You were a blast. Thank you for joining us. Twins, get your dating tip ready. And those of you in the chat, have a good night.
Okay.
Bye.
All right, then, Mr.
Twins, are you ready? Because I am not.
Nope. Ladies first.
Okay. You know what? I have a dating tip. So, dating tip, and this is for both people. So, men and women, this applies to. Fail fast in relationships. Don't waste your time with people that you know that there isn't a future with. And I think one of the ways to do that is what we were talking about in the beginning is putting them through the vetting process of meeting the important people in your life. Broken Berlin had a good point, especially for women. If there are men in your life, elder men in your life, having, introducing them, this man to the elder man in your life. And I think it's the same for men, introducing your woman to the elder woman in your life. But I think we need to bring that part back. I think we are getting together, we are forming these emotional and physical connections, and we're not going through the process. And I think there has to be absolutely a process because sometimes people see what we don't. And especially at our big age, I keep saying I only have one more relationship left in me. And so I would rather in the dating phase fail fast, do the whole thing and say, yep, this isn't for me and move the hell along instead of investing 1, 2, 3 years into something that is in failure. So fail fast and make sure that you have uh, people who are there to vet the person that you're interested in before you potentially end up in divorce court. Twins.
All right. That's a lot. I'm gonna kind of
Mhm.
piggyback off of Mr. Brooklyn, because he was definitely dropping some gems on this one. And in the chat, he did say make sure you had this conversation before sex. That's a fact because people get tied up in the emotions. But one thing I will say, or piggyback what he said, fellas, then this is for the fellas, um, having that safe place are
Mm.
is very important. And when he said that, does the women talk to the other men in the family about their situation or gripes? Do they like agree? Like, oh, well, that's what you get. Is it a safe place? Because if they can't be safe with their uncles or cousins or nephews, whatever, like he said, how are they gonna be safe with you when you are in a situation, right? And that matters. And also think about this too: when you are dating a lady and you meet the family, and all people you meet is all women, that might be a little red flag there. That might be a red flag. Or they were all married, but they all divorced now. That's another flag. Because it's like, where are the men at? And I have seen that firsthand. So once again, having that safe place and just paying attention to surrounding, that's going to help you out in the long run. So that's what I got.
I love that. Well, thank you. Thank you once again to Broke in Berlin for joining our conversation. Everyone, this is always a safe space to come and share your opinions. I can say it now at Fuck Your Feelings, the show. It's the end of the show, so I can say the full word. We are a safe space. We're all about respectful discourse. We're not always going to agree with each other, but we're going to give each other the space to have this conversation because, again, I started this show to change the conversation around Black relationships. My ultimate goal is to see more Black marriages, to Twins' point, to create more Black legacy. And we can only do that when we're creating spaces for each other to be able to communicate. So thank you, everyone. Thank you, Twins. Thank you, Broken Berlin. Thank you to everybody who's in the chat. Thank you to those people who have joined us on Instagram. Make sure you like, share, and subscribe. And we will see you